So I wanted to walk you through my project. I'm Riley Hunter. This is the product detail page mock project for Jordan's Furniture. I had a lot of fun doing this project. It was some cool research. And I ended up with a really nice high fidelity prototype, an interactive prototype actually. I'm going to go through my process really quickly, but I know that you are all very busy. So I'm going to skip to the protein of the presentation, or the meat and potatoes, um, which is the interactive prototype, but I wanted to walk you through my process. Okay, so I'll give you an overview. We'll go through a little bit of the research, go through some strategy, get to the prototyping, and then move on to next steps. So the process overview is pretty simple, but I wanted to show you that I do have, a strategic approach that I follow for each project. Phase one is basically discovery, where you do user research, market research, competitive analysis, contextual research, so research on trends, etc. Phase two is strategy, where I use framing tools and strategy models to ensure strategic approach in the visual design. Phase three is prototyping, where I begin drawing, hand drawing low fidelity prototypes, and then I use digital tools to do interactive prototypes. And then the last phase is the implementation phase, where you do usability testing, monitoring and evaluation, talk with the developers, etc. So I did some discovery. I first did some user interviews with local business owners in the retail space and e-commerce website designers, more focusing on boutique brands, some other things. So I found some really interesting things here. No distractions was something that Gina said. Personal experiences, etc., etc. I apologize for Olive's blurry photo, but she said, I think an important principle is to sell by not selling. It's like the adventure of finding it, uniformity, proud reviews, availability. So that was really nice. Chelsea's a director of e-commerce. She said patterning is key, so I did a lot of patterning. Not to deliver too much promise, but do things that make people feel secure and confident. Jamie, a retired principal at a brand equity firm, said something really interesting, which ended up kind of framing my whole strategy. She said, it's not about recreating the in-store experience online anymore. It's about making sure the user gets what they expect and letting them know that if for some reason it's not what they expect, it will be so easy to get the right item in their hands that they won't even notice as they busily buzz around during their normal daily lives. And this kind of encompassed everything that everyone else said. In a nice way. So market research, I won't dive into this, but this is talking about human communication and connection. This is talking about the importance to give users, consumers control. This is talking about, you'll see this in the visual execution, about minimizing product descriptions and details. I redesigned it to not do that, the site to not do that. I did some patterning, so I drew out all these people's approaches and saw what was similar on their product detail pages. I made a user persona, which is always a nice way to frame things so you know who you're designing for. And I always use this must-have, nice-to-have, fancy feature approach to my site design. I usually also do a how might we design a product detail page that ensures that people are confident they're getting what they want. And if not, they're sure that it'll be there will be a hassle-free way that the company will ensure that they get what they want. So that's what I really focused on here, visually executing those things. So here's where we start the prototyping. So this is my redesigned product detail page. I redesigned basically everything a little bit, mostly for confidence, for delivery, for safety. Here on the bottom right, I made 3 icons. one for COVID wait times, one to let people know if things are in and out of stock at each store, one to talk about safe delivery. I added a few more photos that was constantly present in the user research, as well as a video, a diagram photo. I unnested all these details here, and the ability to customize and what's ready to ship, because that was very important. I kind of made this, I gave an icon to the get a free swatch kit. I pulled the description up here. I redesigned the review section. I gave a little subheading under the name, and put the name up here. I added a sharing button and a like button. Those are really popular on a lot of sites. I made the button circular because it's a psychological UX principle to get people to focus their attention on the center of it. I added a little filter here saying this item was popular. That is a really popular approach as well. I did some breadcrumbs. That's a necessary component which was lacking in the previous site design, previous product detail page design. I added a location so you know where you're signed in as. You can switch it if you want. If you like something, it gets saved in your personal profile as a favorite. And if you purchase something, it goes up there in your cart. Yes, okay. So there we purchased something. There's a visual cue that it's been added to your cart. This changes, and the icon up here shows you have something in your cart as well. Here's the ready to ship button. It's the colors that are specifically in stock. It says that, hey, this is ready to ship. It's getting that customer that really wants a quick purchase. Here is a detail page. If you click on or hover over the photo to the left, I brought in some really nice light photos. That is really lacking on the previous design. I added a video and pulled the design specification drawings up top here. So I thought this was really cool. When in some sites that I patterned, when you go to customize or choose your colors, you can hover over and obviously the photo changes, but also it pulled out a small pop-up when you hover over that tells you more about the specific texture and color, and gave you a lot of information about the colors. So ensuring that those people know what they're buying before they get it. It gives a little product description. It gives what kind, that it's pet friendly, that it's microfiber, it's cleaning code, reviews right there too. I thought that was quite nice. That was one of my favorite things that I saw in all my research. Here we have if you like a product, what happens. Here we have those got out of order somehow. So this is what happens once you select. So if you hover over, these go away obviously, but now you're selecting it, so that stays. Here we have if you scroll down the site and get to the product detail page, this is what you're seeing. Again, it's not nested. You don't have to minimize it. And so there's always something there. There's the product size information, and here's some reviews. And there's a chat section at the bottom. I don't know why that's popping up there again, but so here's what happens if you click the chat section at the bottom. And you can minimize it and go back to your experience. Here's if you keep scrolling down, what happens. You go to shop the look and shop related items, very similar to what was there before, just a little bit different approach. And in terms of next steps, what would be there is the implementation phase that I explained at the beginning of the process. way back up where, and that is a very quick overview of my prototype, and I'll send this along to you. Thanks so much.